Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTBase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review where we're going to be analyzing the 20th COT report of 2021 COT standing for commitments of traders. We're going to start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions as we always do, but just a reminder for anybody who is new to COT analysis that here at COTBase.com we offer a lot of educational material, not only a written format, but we have some very, very useful videos as well that will, teach you how to use the report, how you can analyze it. A lot of very interesting tools are available here at COTBase.com. So let's start off with the first market for this review, which will be heating oil. As you can see, we have a huge 38% change in commercials positions on a 52 weeks look back period. Of course, we are looking at a 1 year chart, so it's 52 weeks. And right away, you can see that the magnitude of this change in commercials positions is very, very large. I would say the second largest after this change back in November 2020. Now, this gives us the opportunity to, show you how these COT change signals work, what to be cautious about. So, of course, change signals affect the market in the near term. They may push the market according to the signal direction for the next couple of days. Now, I think for those of you who are new to COT analysis, the Commitments of Traders report is published by CFTC on Fridays usually, but it shows you a picture from the previous Tuesday. So that's what you see here on the 9th of November. That was Tuesday, and by the time we saw this report, the market already reacted to the change signal. So I think that's something we should keep in mind, because that's kind of the case right now. We do see a bit of a decline. We may be late with this signal. So, but no worries. We always, look at the change signals, and then we move on to the 5 years chart and examine if we have an extreme situation. And actually, with this sudden large change, we pushed commercials to a 132 report extreme, which is quite large. It means, for the past 2 years, we did not see such an extreme. Now, this is a bearish extreme signal. But if you look even further back in time, we do see traders at even greater extremes, which just, draws your attention to the fact that this could go on potentially for another few more weeks, month, before there's a change in the trend. So in case of commercials, we're talking about they could reach, about 100,000 contracts net short level, which means roughly double than where they're at right now, just barely under 50,000 contracts net short. So that's something you should keep in mind. But nevertheless, stress levels are building up in heating oil. Now, the next market will be crude oil, the Brent crude to be specific, another energy. So we've got a correlating market. Here we have a 20%, a little bit more modest change size in commercials positions, larger than average, but nothing, so surprisingly huge. It is, of course, coming after a bit of a decline, so I could only repeat myself what I just explained for heating oil. And here on the 5 year chart, you can see that I would say maybe we are closer to bearish COT extreme levels. Back over here in October of 2018, what a beautiful extreme signal, guys. Amazing. Commercials going under the zero line, net short, large speculators, net long. Bam, there's the top, and since then we've seen a decline. Now we are headed in that direction, so we'll see when we get there. One thing's for sure, stress levels are becoming pretty high in energies. Next market, lumber. We have a 17% change in commercials positions. You can see that over there. On the 1 year chart, it becomes visible. And, this is why we opened the charts. It's not large. Just look at it. We have had these larger changes for many, many weeks. I wouldn't put too much emphasis on the COT change signal. I'm more interested in the extreme. You can see that we had relative bearish extreme, but I wouldn't say that was so large. I wouldn't really act upon that signal, and we're moving away from those levels. Once again, getting closer to bullish extremes. I think that's due to the fact that we have moved away from that top. This just simply means we may actually start going higher once again. Pretty large dynamics in lumber market these days, but I wouldn't say there's a very clear direction from the Commitments of Traders report. Moving on to large speculators, COT Extreme, we've got a bunch of currencies. Brazilian Real with a 92 report extreme. Don't forget Brazilian real. We don't have such a huge history of data. Well, it's becoming larger. I mean, it's built up for 10 years now, as you can see. We are, I would say, more closer to bearish COT extreme levels, suggesting we may actually see the continuation of this downtrend that's been going on in this market. So yeah, I think that's all we can say over here. Canadian dollar is the next market, 79 report extreme in large speculators. We've got 185 report extreme in commercials positions, and it is clearly visible on the chart, suggesting we may start, expecting the market to reach a top. We could see potentially, the market rolling over, but don't forget these, situations, extremes could go on and on for a couple weeks, possibly even a few months before they actually, influence the market and push it in the other direction. So of course, here we had a bullish extreme back in March 2020. Wasn't that all-time or huge, but it was definitely larger than what we witnessed before for the past, roughly 1 year. It came over there, pushing the market higher, and as it, gradually strengthened, we are witnessing traders changing their positions accordingly. Large speculators adding to their net long positions as the market moves higher. But, we're going to reach a point where they're just simply full, basically, and we should expect a shift in the trend. And I think that's something that we should expect to happen. And last but not least, let's open Swiss franc. Here we have a 70 report extreme in large speculators, but showing us more of a bullish picture, at least in large speculators. Well, if you look at the chart itself, I would argue that it is bullish. Commercials definitely indicating more of a bearish picture, although they moved away slightly the past 2 months roughly. So I wouldn't say there's much to gather here, but don't forget that we are measuring these currencies in dollars, all three that we just talked about. So you might as well have a look at the dollar index itself and see if that's showing anything from the Commitments of Traders report. That was all for this review, but don't forget that COTbase.com offers a lot of tools to analyze the report. And also, it's, I think, important to emphasize that we do offer you all the report types that are available. So not only the classic legacy Commitments of Traders report, but also the disaggregated, the TIF, CIT. We also show you, not only the futures, data type futures and options, the one that we're analyzing in these review, and we constructed the options only data, which I think is really great. We offer a lot of data sets if you want to analyze those. These are the tools that you can add to your table. Volume and open interest scores. We got the long-term indicator, COT index, the move index. If you're interested in a specific market, let's say, I don't know, we talked about the Brent crude, for example. You just click on Brent crude over here on the left side, and there you go. All the data is accessible, and you can, analyze them on the charts separately. Anything you're interested in, you just click on it, and it's gonna drop down, and there you go. You can analyze that specific data set in the chart if you wish. Now, if you're somebody who's trading, let's say, in NinjaTrader, then you might be interested in the Pro indicator, which includes everything that we just showed, so the website access, but it also allows you to use our indicators in NinjaTrader on your charts, which I think is really great. If you're someone who trades in a more shorter time frame, then maybe you want to be looking at the ICOT intraday indicator, which is a wonderful tool to analyze markets in the near run. It's built on the concept of Commitments of Traders, but of course the data itself is not from CFTC. We created this unique indicator. I would definitely recommend you to check this out. Okay, that was all for this review. I truly appreciate your attention. I hope you will have a wonderful weekend. Take care. Goodbye.